Storytime, SgtKeeneye. So, I have a good story for you guys today, and it's about my roommates. I've been experiencing some problems that they've been addressed. We'll get to that. I've been experiencing some problems. So, when I originally moved into my dorm this year, or my apartment this year, I was chilling. In my place, there's two rooms. This was my room. It fits two people. It's got two beds. But I didn't have a roommate. There's another room with my other two roommates, and they live in there, and they're all cool and stuff. But I was in my own place, and I didn't really care. I like meeting new people, so I didn't really mind. I was like, hey, maybe I'll have like some cool dude or something. So a week or so goes by. I'm chilling in my chair, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not gonna have a roommate because it's about a week, and this dude still has not showed up. So I figured I would probably be here by myself, or they would move someone in with a wait list. And well, I was right. So there's a wait list of people who want to get into the apartments, and they got like names, and you signed up, and you paid to either live in the hotel that is on campus, or because that's where the waiting list people go, and then when people leave, you come here. So, I expected someone to come eventually. Didn't expect the person who came actually. So this guy, I'm sitting in my room over here, like I'm over here in my room. This is my room. This is the front door. So I start hearing like someone having like difficulties, like opening the door. Like you don't, you put the key in and you turn it. Simple, right? You put the key in, you turn it, you open the door. Apparently, this person just did not know how to put the key in the keyhole and open up the door. So I'm like, who's having these difficulties opening the door? And then the door comes open, just opens right on up. And I'm like, all right, this person obviously has a key to this place, so maybe this is my roommate. Dude, like, awkward as hell. Doesn't say anything. Comes on in. What the hell is that? I just gave him a unibrow. Alright, he's got a unibrow. Comes on in, and he starts doing like weird stuff, like walking around the room and like trying to figure out which room it is. And I'm like, I guess, you're in this room. That's a confungled mess over here. So, alright, and then he leaves. He pulls his one out, and he starts bringing his stuff back in. He's got like basic stuff like food and shampoo and towels, and these are all squares and triangles. You know what I'm trying to say here, right? You know what I'm trying to say. This story, it's gonna go somewhere. Don't worry about it. So he's twice putting it in the wrong bathroom because we have two bathrooms. So I gotta like show him, yo, we have our own bathroom. That's not it. And he's like, oh, okay. Very mumbly, like I almost didn't understand what he was saying, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And, I don't know this guy. He could just be nervous. He could just have social anxiety. I don't know. So I'm thinking this guy's weird or whatever, kind of, but maybe he's not that bad. Well, that following day, or I believe it might have been the same day, he talks to my other roommates, and he's like watching anime, and anime is cool and all, like swords and fighting, and fucking stories and dramas and cool, badassery stuff. I mean, if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z is an anime, and that thing is awesome. But I've seen many other animes other than that. But I generally enjoyed it. So he's like chilling, and my roommate, he is Asian, but that has not really much to do with it until later in the story. Um, he asked me, he's like, "Yo, you like the animes?" He didn't say it like that. He was like, "Do you watch?" He's like, "Do you watch Japanese anime?" In like a very mumbled, like kind of awkward way, and I was like, worst thing I could have said. I was like, this is me over here, like yeah, I watched that stuff. Cool story, bro. That's me with a thumbs up. My hand's really deformed. My hand is really deformed, and I was like, yeah, I watched that, bro. And he was like, oh great. So he grabs his computer, flops it down on my bed. So we have two like sides of the room, so it's very obvious like which my stuff. But he doesn't ask if I want to see something, or if I've seen, or if I want to have the time to look at his anime. He just flops it down on my bed, gets like this goddamn close to my face. Like there was maybe a half a foot to a foot of space. Just no personal room, bro. Like shoo back over to your fucking corner. But he just was not. He wasn't going. He's. Oh god damn it, my phone. So he's showing me his anime, all these other things, like, yo, look at this fight, and this, and Fate Stay Night, and this guy. I'm like, yo, I haven't even seen Fate Zero. I've only seen Fate Stay Night. And he was like, whatever, I'm going to show you a giant spoiler for this anime that you've never seen. And I'm just like, well, okay. And so he starts showing me, and I'm busy. You know, I'm sitting at my desk. I was doing something already. I'm on my own computer. And this guy is just not leaving me alone. So I'm already like, you're coming off of the very wrong foot, dude. You really need to calm it down. But he keeps showing me. And every time I looked away, he hit that pause button until I looked at the anime again. So I did what, you know, could get you out of a social situation. And I said, oh, hey, bro, I have to go call my girlfriend. You could use anyone, but I used my girlfriend. I was like, I got to go call my girlfriend because I got to, you know, yeah, I got to do this. And so I leave the room. I get up and I leave the room. I'm in the living room over here. I call her and she's like, why are you calling me? Because I don't usually call first. And I was just like, I just have to call you. You have to distract me. And then I come back into the room and I plop it on down. Mistake number 3 or so right here. You know, talking to him first, mistake. Letting him flop his stuff on my bed is also another mistake, I guess. And then coming back into the room, I guess, would be mistake number 3. Come back here. I guess he just doesn't know what a woman, a girlfriend is. Like, he don't know. Like, the anime woman is the only one he knows. I don't know. But I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, and he's still trying to talk to me, just yamming his mouth off. He looks like a Dorito, just yamming his mouth off, and like keeps trying to show me the fights going on in the anime, and I'm like, I start talking to my girlfriend, and what does he do? What does he do? He pauses it when I talk to her on the phone. The second I start talking, and he'll keep it paused. The second I stop talking, he presses the play button. And he did this about 10 times. And to the point where it was irritating me, where I just went silent. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to stay silent until this is over. And my girlfriend's like, why are you silent? I don't want to talk to you on the phone if you're not talking. And I'm like, I will tell you later because I'm very irritated right now. And she's like, okay. So I kind of avoid him from this point, and then he starts doing some other weird stuff, like, there's bad roommates. He starts leaving trash everywhere, trash on the counters. This is a couple days later, excluding all the anime stuff after he finally went away. Trash on the counters, like, he comes home every week. He goes home every weekend and brings, like, these styrofoam cups that have a plastic lid on top of them, and food inside, whatever type of food. And then on top of that, it is wrapped in a big plastic bag. So he makes like excess amount of lot of trash. You got a crumpled up plastic bag over here. You got a styrofoam thing over here, and then you have the lid on a different spot. So the counter is slowly, like the whole counter just slowly started filling up, and we're like, okay, this is getting out of hand. We considered going to our RA, but we didn't go yet. We're like, nah, this is, I had to go out there, and we agreed to go tell him to clean. So I went out there. He's in the kitchen. Let's say this is like the sink. He's standing right here next to the sink. He's got fucked up legs, apparently. I don't know. He's standing out here, and I'm like, yo, here's the counter with all of the trash on it. All that crap everywhere. I'm like, yo, you need to clean up your trash. And he's like, okay, I'll do it later. Or, okay, I'll do it. And then, he doesn't do it. I come back out. I'm like, yo, the fucking trash, you need to pick it up. And he's like, all right. I'm like, no, get over here and pick up your trash. So he gets over here, and I'm like, yo, clean up your trash. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, the bag is under the sink. I already told you this is where trash is. And he grabs, like this section and then, throws it in the trash. And I'm like, now go get this section. And then he does that. And then in this section, it's like I had to treat this guy like he was a child. Because he didn't know when you say clean up your damn trash, you gotta clean up all of it. You don't leave you don't clean this piece up and be like, oh, those other trash, let's just leave it here. No. I just stand there and show him, yo, trash bag, trash, it goes in there. You tie it up, you take it to the bigger trash can, and you throw it in there. Like, I had to show him all this. Like, she didn't know trash bag. Like, yo, this goes in here. did not quite understand. So I had to like stand there and act like he was a child. He mentally is a child to me. And whatever. Trash is still an issue, or was an issue, and he's would continually making trash like in the living room and in the kitchen, and I'm just like, trashy roommate, that happens. But he starts doing some other stuff. He doesn't have like his own utensils. He has like one fork that he uses and maybe like a spoon. I mean, like I have one fork and a spoon and a knife and like a couple plates and like some bowls. But he just had like this and like a tiny little cup and like a tiny like tea time you can eat a biscuit on it type of plate, and that wasn't enough. So he asked, can I borrow your plate? And I'm like, sure, as long as you clean it. That's reasonable. You borrow someone's plate, you get dirt on it, you clean it up, and you got a shiny new plate. And so he borrows it, he mixes food on it. I eat my food because I made something at the same time he did. And I come out from the room and I go to the sink with the little faucet, and there's like two sides and it had stuff in it, like a bit of stuff, but there was easily enough room to clean. So I'm just cleaning my plate, and he was like, "Oh, the dish is, it's full. It's really full, and I don't think that there's enough room for me to wash." And I'm sitting over here, standing, I guess, with my dish in hand, washing it with the thing while all these other dishes are in here. And he's telling me there isn't enough room, while there's enough room for me to wash my dish. Apparently, the dish that he's using, which is the exact same size as mine because I have two identical plates, was not enough room. So I'm getting kind of pissed off over here. I'm like, what the what? Seriously, bro? Seriously? I'm like, whatever. I just walk in my room. I don't want to deal with this crap. And then he like comes in and like explains that same thing to me, and I'm like, no, you need to clean it. And he's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Whatever. You'll fucking do it tomorrow, So I'm out there tomorrow he's using my plate again, without asking. He just didn't wash it. He's just using it again, and I'm like, oh, God, fucking damn it. So he brings his plate to the sink. And one side has been cleared out, thank God. He probably never would have even bothered to do that if it wasn't cleaned. Drops the plate in there. Turns the water on. Water goes on the plate. Walks away. Just while I'm standing right here next to him. Drops the water on it. Walks away. Goes to class. Just leaves my plate in there. Dirty as hell. He also did this with my other roommate. Same exact thing. He actually cleaned the plate after, which was, a kind of step up from there. But didn't happen to me. Just left my plate in there. Dirt and food all over it, and I was just like, fuck this. And I washed my plate after he left, put it away, and I'm like, never let him borrow my stuff again because that's bull crap. And stuff like this continued to happen, trash, blah, blah, blah. Now it's time for the big whammy. The big whammy, alright. We have two beds. We have one bed that's on the floor on one side of the room, and then we have one bed that's like highly elevated, kind of like a bunk bed, except there's no bottom piece, but it's just like the desks and stuff under it. And then we each have our own desk. So I'm at my desk over here. I'm chilling on my computer, just relaxing. I didn't even have my headphones on because, I didn't need my headphones on. It's like I'm not trying to be quiet. He's up in his bed, and I'm just like, whatever. He wakes up and like lays in his bed for a couple hours. Like, yeah, it's lazy. That's what he does. Whatever. I'm not gonna throw a big deal like you're a lazy asshole. Get out of your bed. I'm just gonna do mind my own business and which I was doing. You just minding my own business on my laptop, and all of a sudden, he's like under a blanket, keep in mind. And I start hearing this like blanket motion, like some rustling in the wind, some rustling under the wind, under the blanket. I don't know if you get my drift here, but it sounded like there was some, that's not how you spell it, some fappage. Oh God, let's get that out of there. Okay. Some fappage under the blanket, if you don't know what that means. It sounded like he was jacking off under the blanket, and I think I screwed up my stuff here. Let me try and fix this. I messed up my drawing. There we go. Okay, that should be better. There was some fappage under the blanket. Sorry about that. And I try and ignore it. Like, okay, maybe he's not jacking off under the blanket and I'm just hearing things. So I turn around really quick just to be like, gotta step on my toes, like, what the fuck are you doing type shit. Second I turn around, he turns towards the wall. This is the most confungled mess ever. He turned towards the wall. As soon as I turned this way, he turned this way. And I'm like, okay, if you weren't doing anything, you know, if you weren't doing anything, if you weren't fapping something under a blanket, you know, then for what reason would you have to turn away from the wall? Second I turn away, or turn towards you, you have to turn towards the walls. I'm like, whatever. I just don't want to think about it. I hope he's not doing that. And then about 2 minutes go by, and I hear a big old sigh of, ah, or like that. That would be more descriptive. It came. 100 definitely % sure that is what happened. So while I was awake, I wasn't laying in my bed like he thought I was asleep, because sometimes I sleep in late. I was awake, sitting at my desk. I don't know, I'm going to estimate this right now, like 4 feet away. 4. And with clear view of seeing on top of the bed. I'm here, like I have the sight over here. I could see on your bed. And this is kind of similar to my face right now. I was just like, what the hell just happened? I was kind of traumatized. Didn't want to confront him at that point. I was just traumatized. It's like I didn't want to turn around and get in his face and be like, "Were you fapping under the bed?" I didn't know what to say at that point. I was traumatized. Like it took me like half the day to even like mention it to my other roommates, and it was like, well, they're just like, didn't even know what to say. Like I mentioned it to Ninja Bear, some of my other bros. Eventually my girlfriend, even my own mom. I told my mom. And I don't normally tell her things like this, but I just had to say, because I needed to get an RA meeting. What originally set off the RA meeting beforehand, because we already went to the RA because he left a big ass shit in the toilet that was like diarrhea and shit, and he didn't flush it, and the lid was closed. So he saw the toilet, and he came back from class and knew there was a big ass dump in the toilet, and just left it there for me. So we already set up an RA meeting, and it got postponed a couple times because of like issues and class issues of the RA and ourselves, to the point where I think it got moved to like the following week or the week after. And I brought up all of this, and he denied most of it. Most of his reasons was I'm lazy. That was why he didn't clean and do that stuff, or realize that like he's essentially like a baby. He's like first generation Asian. I'm sure his parents were. I'm like entirely sure his parents came here from whatever country, Asian country, and they were the first generation born here, because it would explain for why his English was so broken. He did say he was born here, and how he might have been very overprotected because he is socially stunted, that he has no communication skills, like zero. Like he doesn't know how to handle situations. So I bring it up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. This is when I first confronted him. I said, we're all at a table. We're all sitting here, and then he's right here. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at the table because I'm just like, man, I don't even know what to say. That you were fapping under a blanket. And he's like, no, of course you're gonna deny this. You're not just gonna say, yo, well, yeah, I was fapping under a blanket. He's like, no, I wasn't fapping. I was cold and moving. And I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. Like, there's no way I can prove it. So I'm just like, we go over other things, and I'm like, there's no way I can prove it, but I'm pretty damn sure you were doing that. He blamed the cold. So, I had a roommate, trash everywhere, left a big ass dump in the toilet, didn't wash the plate while I'm standing next to him. That's my goddamn plate that he used for 2 days in a row without asking for the second day. And then he faps under a goddamn blanket while I'm in the fucking room. Dude, if I was asleep, and that what concerns me the most is if he's willing to do that while I'm fucking awake and agile and can have ears, like I'm not deaf. Imagine how many times he's probably done that when I slept in late, which is why I no longer sleep late. I wake up at 7 every goddamn day because he wakes up later than that. And I'm not sure, and I can't prove this yet. I think he might have stole a 20 from me. Maybe. Possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but Let me tell you, my roommate that I currently have, my roommate, fucking sucks. He sucks so much. I don't want anything to do with him. I've mentioned this a few times with my video about my roommate, but I've never gone into detail. I just felt I should tell the full-on story. Maybe this isn't the end of it. If some major thing happens, I'll definitely go on another story of that. This is probably the longest story time I've ever done. But fucking dude fapped goddamn jacked off near a blanket while I was in the room. That is just wrong. It is just wrong. There was a goddamn bathroom he could have gone up and gone to that's 8 feet away. But I'm 4 feet and he's doing it under his blanket. It's freaking ridiculous. I hate him so much. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to my story. I haven't done one of these in a while. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story. And I guess that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. And SgtKeeneye signing out.